Hey guys, so if you've ever wondered what the differences between the Stug 3 and the Stug 4 are, then this is a really quick rundown of the differences. So on the top are the Stug 3 and on the bottom are the Stug 4. Is the Stug 4, my bad. So the first thing that you might be able to notice is that the gun is different, well, at least between these two. That's because the Stug 3, being the original Stug, technically, it has a short barrel because its purpose was to be to support infantry, And it would do that by firing high explosives at personnel or enemy fortifications like bunkers, nests, whatever you want to call it, maybe even camps, who knows. Because it had such a short barrel, that means the velocity was very low, which means that it can't really penetrate tanks or anything like that, so they just kind of didn't really care until they realized that the Stug was actually really good and had lots of potential at being an anti-tank gun and filling anti-tank roles. So, in 1942, they switched over to this longer 75mm gun, because this was still 75, but it was just a short barrel, longer 75, and that meant that it was able to penetrate armored targets, and it was able to be an anti-tank weapon. And obviously it doesn't have a turret. It was meant to ambush, if I recall. Another thing that you'll be able to notice between the Stug 3 and the Stug 4 is that the Stug 4 has only been seen with a long barrel. So if you see a Stug-looking thing with a short barrel, it's most likely a Stug 3, because the Stug 4 never had a long barrel, because by the time the Stug 4 was made, the Stug 3 was already in production with the long 75mm, and the entire reason the Stug 4 was made was because the Stug 3 factories had been bombed and they were not really able to make like Jagdpanzers, so they just resorted to making a Panzer 4 based Stug. Another thing that's really noticeable, one of the key differences, is the driver's compartment. As you can see, it's pretty flat here, but on the Stug 4, it's kind of easy to notice if it was at a different angle, or if it was at a similar angle. The Stug 4 actually has its driver's compartment sticking out because it was elongated, I believe, to accommodate the driver. And on the elongated part are two periscopes. You can't really see it. Two periscopes right here. Whereas the Stug 3, on all variants and all models, only had like a little vision port, so a little vision slit. And on earlier models, these two little holes, I believe, were for the gunner, so he could see what was going on, I believe. Another thing that you can use to tell whether it's a Stug 3 or a Stug 4, at least between early models and late models, is that Stug 3s only had, or early war Stug 3s had hatches instead of cupolas like the Stug 4 does. And it never had a machine gun on the top, so it was very vulnerable. And now the biggest difference are the road wheels on all models, actually. So the Stug 3, if you count, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 road wheels, because this is the Panzer 3 chassis. The Stug 4 has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 road wheels, and that means that it is a Stug 4, because the Panzer 4 had 8 wheels and the Stug 3 Panzer 3 only had 6. Not only that, but the design of the sprocket, the drive sprocket, is also significantly different. Again, because it's a Panzer IV and that's a Panzer III. So is the idler. The idler is also different. And yeah, those are the biggest differences by far. I might have missed some stuff. I'm not perfect, obviously. But yeah.